In the quiet town of Dharmasthala, a discovery has unearthed more than just skeletal remains. It has brought to light a haunting history of unresolved cases and a community's desperate cry for justice. The allegations of a whistleblower, once dismissed as mere testimony, now carry the weight of tangible evidence, compelling us to ask, what secrets lie buried in this town, and will the truth finally emerge? This is the story of the Dharmasthala mass burial case, a saga of courage, systemic challenges, and a relentless pursuit of accountability. Let's explore what's unfolded, the stakes involved, and what this means for the families and communities seeking closure. The discovery of skeletal remains at a site in Dharmasthala has transformed what was once a narrative-driven case into one grounded in hard evidence. A whistleblower who fled the town in 2014 after an alleged assault on a family member had long claimed the existence of mass burials linked to unresolved crimes. His testimony, supported by self-exhumed remains, was initially met with skepticism. But the unearthing of bones has shifted the landscape, lending undeniable credibility to his allegations. This find has forced authorities to act with urgency as public and media scrutiny has surged, drawing national attention to what could become one of Karnataka's most disturbing criminal investigations. The remains, found at the 6th of 13 sites identified by the whistleblower, have turned a spotlight on Dharmasthala, a town revered for its spiritual significance but now grappling with a darker legacy. This discovery has ignited a wave of activism and renewed hope among families and advocates who have long sought justice. The Karnataka State Commission for Women has demanded comprehensive data on missing women and students in the region over the past 2 decades, signaling a push for broader accountability. Senior advocates like Ojasvi Govda have called for an independent probe supervised by a judge, reflecting distrust in local mechanisms. For families like that of Ananya Bhatt, whose mother Sujata filed a fresh complaint recently, the skeletal remains offer a glimmer of hope. Ananya's case, like that of Sovjanya, another girl from Dharmasthala, has haunted the community for years. These families, supported by activists, see the discovery as a chance to finally uncover answers about their loved ones, pushing for a reckoning with the town's troubled past. Yet, the investigation is fraught with challenges. The absence of a skull and the decayed state of the bones complicate identification, requiring advanced DNA analysis that could take weeks or even months. Environmental factors like heavy rainfall and underground water seepage have slowed excavations, with 7 of the 13 sites still unexamined. Earlier finds, such as a PAN card and debit card at the first site, were traced to unrelated individuals, highlighting the risk of false leads that could derail the probe. The special investigation team tasked with the case faces immense pressure to navigate these complexities while maintaining public trust. The involvement of forensic experts, tehsildars, and additional police personnel, 9 recently assigned, shows a commitment to thoroughness, but the terrain and weather pose ongoing obstacles. The forensic analysis of the remains will be pivotal. DNA testing could link the bones to missing persons cases, such as those of Ananya Bhatt, though the male identification of the current remains may shift focus to other victims. The Forensic Science Laboratory's findings will determine whether additional remains at other sites are human and whether they bear signs of violence, as alleged. Ancillary evidence, like clothing or ropes found at the sites, could provide further clues, but the process is meticulous and time-consuming. The whistleblower's claim that remains are likely at sites 9 through 13 suggests more discoveries may be forthcoming, but the SIT's methodical approach will be tested by public demands for swift results and the challenging conditions on the ground. The call for judicial oversight underscores the case's complexity. Activists and a retired Supreme Court judge have urged a Supreme Court or High Court monitored probe, citing concerns about local influence over the investigation. Historical allegations of police inaction in cases like Sovjanya's fuel these demands, raising questions about the sit's independence. If additional evidence emerges, the case could escalate to a CBI investigation or a judicial inquiry, particularly if politically connected figures are implicated. The stakes are high, as Dharmasthala's history of protests since the 1980s reflects deep-seated frustrations with systemic failures. The Karnataka High Court's recent emphasis on transparent investigations, as seen in similar cases like the 2023 Haveri custodial death probe, adds pressure for accountability. The whistleblower's safety is another critical concern. Having fled Dharmasthala in 2014 after an assault on a family member, he has sought and received legal protection from district authorities. Yet, the public circulation of his complaint details risks exposing his identity, endangering him and his family. His courage has been instrumental in bringing the case to light, and ensuring his security is essential to sustaining his cooperation and encouraging other witnesses to come forward. The Karnataka government's recent initiatives to protect whistleblowers, inspired by the 2019 Whistleblowers Protection Act, provide a framework, but implementation remains a challenge in high-stakes cases like this. The case has sparked broader conversations about systemic issues, particularly the vulnerability of marginalized communities like Dalits and women in Dharmasthala. The Karnataka State Commission for Women's demand for data on missing persons could lead to a wider inquiry into regional patterns of violence, potentially exposing systemic lapses. The town's history of unresolved cases, coupled with protests over decades, points to a need for reforms in police accountability. The case resonates with similar incidents like the 2021 Badnadur mass grave allegations, which prompted calls for better oversight of local law enforcement. For Dharmasthala's residents, particularly those from marginalized groups, this investigation is a chance to address long-standing grievances and rebuild trust in institutions. The future of the Dharmasthala case hinges on several possible outcomes. If additional remains are found and linked to criminal activity, the investigation could lead to arrests and expose a network of complicity, validating decades of allegations and providing closure to families. Alternatively, limited evidence or inconclusive forensic results may restrict the case to a few convictions, leaving broader claims unaddressed, as seen in Sovjanya's case. Worst of all, political or institutional pressure could stall the investigation, perpetuating a cycle of impunity and fueling further protests. The Karnataka government's handling of recent high-profile cases, such as the 2024 Masu land scam probe, suggests that public pressure can drive action, but systemic challenges remain formidable. This case is about more than bones in the ground. It's about the courage of a whistleblower who dared to speak out, the resilience of families seeking answers, and the collective demand for justice in a town weighed down by silence. The skeletal remains have given voice to those who have been ignored for too long, from Sovjanya to Ananya and countless others. As the SIT continues its excavations and forensic analysis, the investigation stands at a crossroads. It could unravel a decades-long cover-up, bringing truth and accountability to Dharmasthala, or it could falter under systemic pressures, leaving wounds unhealed. The outcome depends on the investigation's integrity, the protection of key witnesses, and the willingness of authorities to confront powerful interests. For the families and communities of Dharmasthala, these remains are not just evidence, they are a beacon of hope, a chance to break the silence and build a future where justice prevails. Thank you for joining me today. Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this conversation alive as we seek truth together.